I think reflection is one of those things that once you get a taste of it, and once you get a taste of how it makes you think differently and how engaged it makes you feel in your life, you just don't want to go back ever.
A lot of times after people study abroad and they come back, they don't really get the chance to reflect on their experience.
So I thought that it would be a really cool idea to take a class that's focused on largely reflecting on your studies abroad experience, not only how you experienced that country or that place when you were abroad, but how that experience changed you as a person and how it carries into your everyday life.
So the course was co-taught by Francine Ines and Prudence Martin, and they worked together to just kind of facilitate really deep discussions and reflection via journals and just in-class kind of activities.
I actually went on 2 FSP programs. One was the South Africa and Namibia FSP with the Environmental Studies Department. And then last winter I went on the Biology Foreign Studies program based in Costa Rica and the Cayman Islands.
You got to meet scientists from all over the world, which is really, really unique. You get to go through all different types of ecosystems, like dry forests, tropical forests, like the mountain regions.
Being able to apply the skills that I learned in, say, a predetermined lab in a real-world setting really reinvigorated my initial interest in studying those subjects, and I didn't want to relinquish that when I came back.
A lot of times you come back to the same place and you kind of have a hard time reconciling all these new feelings that you have and all this growth you feel like you've gone through with a place that looks pretty much the same. You know, you get back in the same routines, and there's not really an outlet for people to talk about their experiences except for with the group that they went with, because it's very hard to convey everything that happened in, a 9 or 10 week program abroad.
While I was abroad, I was very much caught up in the moment of the whole experience and just being in a new country. When I got back, I started keeping a journal of my study abroad experience rather than doing it while I was there. Being able to experience it again kind of gave it more meaning.
I worked on creating a website that integrated the reflective essays that I had from class on each of the locations that I went to with poetry that I constructed looking back and reflecting on that experience and the photographs that I took in each of those places. My story begins with a journey to a place where the rainforest meets the sea, the Osa Peninsula, a remote stretch of dense rainforest. We learned how to integrate sound and narration to the still frames that we took. A place National Geographic calls the most biologically rich terrestrial ecosystem on Earth.
I'll never forget that strange combination of emotions I felt on the morning.
I loved making something that I could actually show people and that told a story, and forcing myself to piece together these photos that I thought were maybe disconnected, and then picking music that made me happy and reminded me of my time there.
Every day in France, I walked along the River Saône, listening to the gentle rushing water somewhere below my feet. In France, water was just very central to my way of living, and that's very similar to how I live back home in Montana because I live on a lake. And so I feel like I intertwined those two experiences to kind of make it feel more like home while I was abroad.
A lot of my peers that went on the program with me, I was hanging out with them when I was doing my final project for this class, and I was talking about all of these things that happened on our program and kind of saying what they meant to me. And they were kind of blown away. They were like, I haven't thought about that since we were there. I haven't really understood or given myself the space to think through this since we were there. And I'm kind of jealous that you've been able to unpack it in this class. So I think it's something that anyone that has gone abroad could really benefit from.